Good morning, all the English-speaking world. My name is Ecrlinf-Linnik. I am Russian philologist and translator of the French and English literature. And also I am learning Spanish language. The list of my publications, the complete list of my publications, you can find in the description of my channel on platform YouTube, on platform YouTube, and on platform Vkontakte. Now, this video is a rehearsal of my English lesson, because now I am preparing to be an English teacher at Russian school. Now, in this video, I present you a rehearsal of my English lesson. This video is, I want to underline that this video is my speech. In this video you can listen you can hear my speech, but in my real lesson, of course, it will not be some speech, it will not be my monologue for the silent classroom, for the group of silent students. I will teach English language not for some little children, but for some teenagers. All my lessons are not my monologues, not my speech for the group of silent students, for the group of silent pupils. Of course, no, of course not. It will be my communications. For example, I will pronounce some phrase, and immediately I will propose for some student, for some pupil, to go to the board and to write this phrase on the board. And immediately after that, I will propose to some another student, to some another pupil, to translate this phrase into Russian language. So it will be my communication with my students, with my pupils. But now it will be my speech. And now this video will consist of two parts. In the first part, is a rehearsal of my presentation, of my self-presentation to my students, to my pupils. And the second part of this video is my explanation, my speech, my discourse, my discussion about the significance, about the importance of learning English language. I present you how I will explain for my pupils, for my students, the importance of learning of English language. Why we must learn, why we must learn English language, why is it's so important for us. But firstly, it will be my self-presentation, how I will present myself, how I will introduce myself for my students, for my pupils. So I repeat that even my self-presentation, it will be my discussion, it will be my communication with pupils. I will pronounce one phrase, and immediately I will propose to some student to go to the board and to write this phrase on the board. And I will propose to some another student, to some another pupil, to translate this phrase into Russian language. So now it will be my speech, it will be my monologue, but really it will not be my monologue. It will not be some speech. It will be my communication with my students. So, my dear students, my dear pupils, good morning, my dear students. Good morning, my dear pupils. My name is Ecrlinf-Linnik, and I am not professional English teacher. I am professional translator of the English and French literature, and also I am learning Spanish language. The complete list of my published translations you can find in the description of my channel, Ecrlinf-Linnik, on three platforms, on the platform YouTube, on the platform RooTube, and on the platform Vkontakte. So I am professional English. I am professional translator of the French, English, and in the nearest future Spanish literature. But my problem is that Russian publishers, Russian editors don't want to publish the book interesting for me. They propose me to translate some books not interesting for me. They propose me to translate some books which are not interesting for me, and that's why I decided to completely change my behavior, to completely change my strategy and my tactic. I decided to go to school, to work at school as an English teacher, and at my free time, every evening, every second half of every day, I will read classical English, French, and Spanish literature, and I will translate that texts, English, French, and Spanish classical texts, which not yet translated into Russian language. There are many in the classical English literature, in the classical French literature, in the classical Spanish literature. There are many very interesting texts, novels, novellas, short stories, plays of theater. There are many such texts not yet translated into Russian language. I will translate them, and I will publish my translations in the Russian literary magazines. So the first half of every day, I will earn my money by working as an English teacher at school, by teaching English language. The first half of every day, I will earn my money, and the second half of every day, I will earn my glory. I will earn my fame. I will earn my professional reputation as a translator of classical English, French, and Spanish literature. This is my plan for the next 3 years. Possibly during the next 3 years, I will walk by this plan. So this is my presentation for my pupils. So, and now, my dear pupils, my dear students, I want to explain for you why you must learn English language, why it's so important. English language is not only the language of the international language of science, the international language of diplomacy. The international language is in many other domains, many other spheres of our life, of life of all the humankind. But also, English language is the state language, is the official language of many countries friendly to Russia. Many countries which are friends of Russia, of modern Russia. For example, India, Pakistan, South Africa, and many other countries of many other Asian and African countries, which sometimes were the parts of the British Empire. In all these countries, the English language is official language, is the language of communication between different ethnic groups, between different nations. For example, such countries as India and South Africa, the members of the organization BRICS, the very influential organization which unites the most important developing countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And two members of this organization, India and South Africa, have used English language as official language in these states, in these countries. Please note that in all the former British colonies, in all the countries which sometimes were the parts of the British Empire, in all these countries, there are no hate towards English language, towards English culture. They don't hate English language. Possibly they don't love British policy. Possibly they don't love some episodes of the history of British Empire, but they don't hate English language. They don't hate English culture. They don't hate English literature, because all the hate towards some language, even if it's the language of some former colonial empire, such hate towards some language is absolutely unnatural feeling. The hate towards some culture, even it's the culture of some former colonial empire, the hate towards this culture is absolutely unnatural, completely unnatural feeling. The hate towards some literature, even it's the literature of the former colonial empire, such hate is completely unnatural feeling, absolutely unnatural. And all the mentally healthy society would not hate some language, would not hate some culture, even it's the language and the culture of some former colonial empire. But let's imagine some fantastic situation. Let's imagine that some aggressive extraterrestrial civilization would organize some bloody revolution in India and would install in India some extremely nationalist regime based on the ideology of the hate of all the English culture, of all the English language. Only in this fantastic case, only in this fantastic situation, this imaginary, extremely nationalist, totalitarian regime would prohibit English language in India, would ban English language from all the Indian schools, and so on. But this is it's in India. It's impossible, because such policy may guide to some civil war in India. Because I repeat that in India. There are many different ethnic groups, there are many different nations, and English language unites Indian society. Indian society is a mentally healthy society. It's impossible it's impossible some hate towards some language, including English language. So that's why in all the former colonies, in the former British colonies, such as India, such as Pakistan, such as South Africa, in all these countries which were sometimes the members of the members of the parts of British Empire, in all these countries, English language is official language. English language is the language of education, is the language of the sciences, language of literature, language of newspapers, and so on. They actively use English language. So, and all these countries are friendly towards Russia. This is one of many reasons why we must learn English language. And by the way, I forgot. I forgot to mention that although I am not a professional English teacher, but now I am professional translator, but of English and French literature. But I purchased many scientific books about teaching English language, how to teach English language. I bought them. I purchased them in the some bookshop officially connected with Oxford, with the publishing houses, Oxford University Press and Cambridge University Press. There, I will show you these books. First book. The second book. The third book. Now I am reading these books. I bought, I purchased these books, and I am reading them. Another book. Scientific. All these books are scientific books published by the Oxford University Press and Cambridge University Press, and the books dedicated to the English teacher, to English teachers. Another book. Another book. So it was my rehearsal. It was my rehearsal of some of my English lessons. Thank you for your attention. This is the end of this video.